What's going on, everyone? This is Dan French. This is the Sound Off. Today I'm going to talk about what's happening with 16 million homes being vacant across the country. Yeah, Forbes came out and stated that there's around 16 million homes vacant. Now, there's many reasons for that, but there's one theory out there that you have investors coming in and buying these homes, propping up the market by not selling them or not renting them out. Obviously, scarcity, supply and demand, that's going to be a big problem. And they're saying, well, that's the reason why. I can't say that that's the only reason. There's other factors to that, vacation homes, there's other things, location. So there's going to be contributing factors to that. But I'm going to tell you why this isn't the only reason or the main reason for this hot market. Let's get right into this video. All right, folks, let's get right into this video. Let's talk about investors and where they play a part in this. Forbes put out an article. We're going to talk about this on really vacancies. There's 16 million vacancies across the country. Now, what the conspiracy theory, or theory, if you want to call it, however you want to look at it, is that investors are coming in, buying properties in these locations, propping up the housing market, right? Also the rental market. You look at rents going up 23% here in Las Vegas, 17% across the country year over year. And you're looking at housing prices hitting record highs every single month. And that might be true. I'm not going to say that that's not true, although there's other factors, right? Fundamentally, you look at these things and you say, if you went into a market and you bought into properties and you're pulling a bunch of money with your investors and you're buying these properties and holding on to them, well, low supply is going to be a high demand, right? So you're going to see these prices go up. You're going to see properties and rents continue to soar. Now, what Forbes came out and talked about is that they said there's an inverse relationship with vacancies, and it does play a part in how you can really determine what that market's doing. So what Forbes came out and stated is that if you have a high vacancy, then you would have a low or a lot of properties on the market, high supply of properties on the market, which would mean a slow market or not a hot market. Inversely, subsequently, you look at another market. Let's say the market was you had maybe a low amount of vacancies, right? But your demand was really high. Then that would drive the prices up, and that's how you would really determine how hot that market is. Now, here in Las Vegas, we know, if you guys haven't seen my last video, I put out a video about investors investing into the rental market here in Las Vegas and how they know that they're just investing into this money and just getting whatever they want into it, investing their money and getting whatever they want into the market. And really they can put out whatever they want to rent the house for, and they're getting it. And I think that if you look at the investor side of it, that part of it, probably makes more sense, because if you think about it, you have a market that's driving or going up. It's a very hot market. You're seeing a huge return on investment, not only for the rental sector, but the housing market. You have to think that part of that is that, hey, I need to store my money into something that's going to have an appreciating asset. Now, I, in theory, don't think about homes as being an asset. I don't put my money in thinking, okay, I'm going to drive this up and it's a cash out return like a stock. But if you look at how hot this market is and how low supply is right now, that in theory to me would think, okay, well, this is a great way for investors to put their money into something like a house and really get whatever returns they want for these homes. And so there's a lot of flipping companies out there that's doing this. We talked about that. They have to put in perspective other factors. Some of these homes out there that are vacant, maybe it's a short-term rental, right? Maybe you do Airbnb. Maybe it's a secondary home. Maybe it's a place like Alaska. Alaska has one of the highest amounts of vacancies. Well, maybe people vacation there periodically throughout the time. Maybe it's a weather thing. So there is other factors to it. So I'm not going to outrule that, okay, well, are investors coming in buying markets to prop them up? I don't necessarily think they're doing that, but I do feel that they are buying into these properties because they can get whatever they want from this. Okay, so moving on along, furthermore, on this article by Forbes, they came out with some other interesting topics and things that we could talk about. Also, data that they've come back with. They say it's proven data that, you look at lower vacancies with lower price homes or lower home prices means that people are probably not a hot market, and also people are selling their homes in that location for less value. Now, also, you look at other locations that have maybe low vacancies, but you have high prices on homes, means that the competition in that market is pretty significant. Now, that also would hurt middle income to lower income wage earning households because they're getting pushed out of that market. So going down the article as well, it said that also what it could contribute to low vacancy and low household or low house prices is socioeconomic hardship. Maybe there's not a lot going on, right, in that location. I grew up in a place where a lot around me there was nothing really happening. There's not a lot of movement. Prices very stagnant. I know that's completely different than Las Vegas, because Las Vegas always has a lot of things happening, and they have a high vacancy rate here in Las Vegas, and also high prices, which means that could be a vacation spot. And I feel that that's what's happening here in Las Vegas. There's a lot of investors coming here knowing that they buy into this market here in Las Vegas, and there's other locations. It's not just Las Vegas. But when you start to see all these demographics of what Forbes is putting out, this could contribute to where the money's at, right, in Las Vegas. The money is investors are here. That doesn't necessarily in the Midwest and places like that. I'm sure there's still investors, but are they really eyeing places like Las Vegas like they would the Midwest for the return on their money? And I think that's what's happening. So I do think this is a big part on what's going on here in Las Vegas and why Las Vegas is such a hot market. You also have people coming in and paying a premium, as we talked about. And, vacancies, could that contribute to, prices going up? I don't know. Maybe it's just the fact that the cost of shelter and the materials that we don't have for builders, and maybe the fact that people have nowhere else to go if they sell their home, these are all factors. So I think there's many layers to this. It's a plethora of things to look at, and we'll see how it moves forward here in Las Vegas and also as the country as a whole. This is Dan French, the Sound Off. Please like the channel, subscribe, make any comments if you have any questions. I'll see you guys at the next one.